don't threaten me with a good time, I sure will take your shirt. I will say yes. Don't do that.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
You know it's nice.
Let's go grab some more people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jason, right?
Let me see your T-shirt though. Now that you mention it. Matter of fact, you show the crowd. Oh yeah, I love your style so much. So are you all artists out here in the crowd?
He's a photographer.
Ooh. And what are you, French film watcher?
Well, an artist, I taught art at every level, including to the university.
Oh.
And now I'm not, but
Where'd you teach high school?
no, I didn't teach high school. I taught elementary at Roper. It's an alternative school.
Oh, okay.
And then at Oakland University.
Oh, okay.
My daughter's a student at Oakland right now.
Oh.
I'm thinking Oakland Community. Because I'm like, do you know Tyline Sawyer? Because he teaches at one of the Oaklands. I think it's community though. Never mind. Did you have any good students come out of there?
Oh yeah, and I taught a lot of art ed. Art teachers.
Oh, okay. Like the educators.
And now I'm trying to make zines.
Make art deans?
Zines.
Oh, zines. Those
Yeah,
little
for,
tiny.
For the resistance, you know.
Oh, for the resistance, ma'am. I feel like breathing is the resistance. It's loud out here. And wait for these groups. How are things going? Did you hop around all the other roles?
Yeah, I've been hopping around.
So did you check out Murals in the Market website? Do they have a volunteer situation or anything?
Murals in the Market? I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know it's literally next week too.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's so many of these. There was one in Flint last week, and then this one this week, and then the murals in the market
Oh,
next
yeah.
week. It's season for it, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely, because especially here, because we only get what 3 months, maybe 4 months, if we're lucky, 4 months. Yeah. Because I know I don't. If it's below like 51 degrees, I don't typically go outside. Well, it depends on the surface too. The paint won't stick. Yeah, if it's like metal or some like corrugated metal or it might not act right. Yeah. No, the reason why I know is because I went down to New Orleans 1 week and it was in the 80s. I said, be Mike, yeah, sure, I'll be back in a couple weeks. I'll pay. A couple weeks, it was 35 degrees in New Orleans. 2 weeks. I'm never going to New Orleans in January again. So it was like literally my paint was chipping as I was applying. So
Was that cold in New Orleans?
on that,
I didn't even know it got that cold down
yeah.
there.
It happens. Yeah.
I
Yes.
didn't know that. Interesting.
January 2018. Yes. That cold in New Orleans. How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'm well. What's your favorite 90s movie?
The Woods.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite 90s movie?
Can we add on the show too?
Sure.
Cause I really like Living Single though.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Do you watch podcasts with Erica and Kim?
Yeah, I saw that before when they break down the episodes of Living Single and
Yes.
stuff.
It's
Yeah.
so good. The conversations are really good.
I like hearing the backstory about the episodes and just
Yeah.
the show in general.
We do. Well, we were having a conversation before people got here, so.
It's an icebreaker. I have to say maybe Bronx too.
Oh, that's nice. I was just,
That's unique answer.
yeah. I love your eyes. That's all I remember. I can't remember that movie. I just remember that because that was the promo.
Now
You
you
have
just
the
can't
most
leave.
beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
And now y'all know how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
We got another icebreaker?
I don't know. Give me one.
What's people's favorite state?
You said
Ooh.
state.
That's
Yeah.
an easy answer.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I don't have a favorite state. I got a favorite city.
I can
That's
say
an easier answer too.
I agree.
They thought I meant beacon. That was French. For you. And he's from Los Angeles, so it's gonna be LA.
LA all day.
Okay.
LA is the best.
What's your
city in the
favorite
world.
city?
Well, I gotta say Pittsburgh, cause that's where I'm
You do have to say that.
Pittsburgh's a cool city. My brother-in-law lives there. We visited like a year or two ago. Got a
That's
really,
the same.
really cool art scene over there, actually.
What's your favorite city to travel to? Now that.
I haven't traveled in a while, but when I did Maryland was nice.
That's a state. No, it's not. Is it a state? Yeah, it's a state. What's
Well,
this?
it's a city to me.
Shut up.
You said state at first, so.
Oh yeah, you did say favorite state. You did. Yeah, you did say favorite state. That is hilarious.
DC is cool.
Yeah, DC got good food
They got the best museum in the world there.
and the best grits.
Museum.
Grits?
The African American Museum.
Grits?
Have you ever been there? God.
They do.
In
They
Maryland,
do.
you're saying?
In DC.
Oh, in DC, okay.
In
Yeah,
DC.
now it's pretty cool, a lot of fun. You gotta go to that museum. You been to the museum in
Uh-huh.
DC? You gotta go. It's like the best.
You know, we had here Charles H. Wright African American Museum was the first largest African American museum in the world before that one.
Oh, yeah?
It was built, yep.
I don't know.
Except, and thank God, we don't have to deal with no federal funding get pulled.
That's good.
It's just ours. So boom. So it's about to be the biggest again. Because they're, you know, taking it all away. If they, I wonder if he gonna have them take out the Emmett Till display. The
For that
museum?
display. He hasn't been, so.
Oh
he
shit,
hasn't-
no. Yeah, it's in Smithsonian. Yeah. So you been? Have you been to the?
Why are they even trying
Not to the new
curate?
one, no, not to the Museum of Washington.
You know why?
Right.
Cause he tried to. You know why? Yeah. I bet you they charge whoever just shot old dude too with a terrorist, give him a terrorist charge.
I hope he stay on the run. Let him cook.
I thought they had him in custody.
Nah, they had to, it wasn't the guy, they had to release him.
Ah,
They got a photo of him up now, though.
they do?
Yeah,
He's got like sunglasses
Oh,
on.
yeah, we'll see. Pretty scary.
It ain't scary for me. I ain't a biggie.
I mean,
Wow.
the FBI did put out, they found like a
I
100K for anybody to get them information about what he located at.
think the reaction to it's gonna be pretty scary. I think they've been setting up to overreact to something like this and impose things like martial law, and I think they wouldn't do it.
I don't think they're gonna do all that.
They already
Not
started.
in Utah.
That's what DC is happening. It's
That's
the
right.
test ground.
That's right.
Chicago.
And oh man,
They coming to Chicago.
but that mayor got that city blocked up, baby. He ain't playing. He is
They
not
gonna
playing.
do it for a
He
month.
pulling a Coleman. He pulling a Coleman that young. Yeah.
They can only stay for a month.
Huh?
They can only stay for a month.
What, the salt trips?
The military.
So they're gonna be there indefinitely.
Indefinitely?
That came out, what, yesterday? Today?
Everything changes
That's what,
every day.
that's what their government must have voted for. They gotta prove some kind of.
Oh, no. Nobody voted for anything. People just
Yeah.
make decisions and they comply.
That's correct.
Sorry to take this dark turn.
Anybody from DC? No, anybody from DC?
I know Andrea
What are
Williams out
they
there.
doing in DC? It's all picking up trash.
Mhm. Well, oh yeah, the National Guard. Yeah, they were picking up trash.
Yeah.
They be having like shitty accommodations for these people,
Or no accommodations at all.
or no accommodations at all.
Yeah.
I'm going AWOL. I don't care. Give me that dishonor. Give me that discharge, please. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy, but it is what it
What's the
is.
cost of this?
All right, we can get started. What time is it?
7:26.
Oh yeah, let's get started. Welcome, audience. Welcome to the BLKOUT Walls Artist Resistance Panel. City G. James, your host. And one of the co-founders of BLKOUT Walls Mural Festival. As many of you may or may not know, BLKOUT Walls Mural Festival was founded by myself, Maxine Singh, out of Chicago, and Thomas Detour Evans out of Denver. 5 years ago, we hosted our inaugural festival here, 2021, summer 2021, and it's a biannual festival, so we had our second festival, 2023, and this is our third festival. So welcome. So today's, and I'll have my artists introduce themselves.
My name is Mike Norice. I'm an artist out of Los Angeles, California. It's my first time in Detroit. So I got
Okay.
back. It's been a great time here at the festival. Painted along with some of my heroes, like Max and Sydney here. And I specialize in portraits. However, I focus on positive message murals. That's my main focus right now. That's it.
My name is Jason Phillips. I'm born and raised Detroiter, born on the west side. Been doing art my whole life. I'm also a tattoo artist on Detroit Ink Spot. My artwork is very illustrative. I like to do social political pieces if I can, most of the times. And this is my first year doing BLKOUT Mural Festival, so I'm excited about that. And I've been enjoying myself. Thank you, Sydney.
Wonderful.
Nice.
So we just gonna get into it. So I'll ask you first, since you already kind of said that your work kind of revolves around, you know, those type of pieces. What is art as resistance to you?
Art as a resistance is basically, I like to do things that make people question what's going on socially from a Black perspective.
How do you do that from a design perspective?
I come up with a topic that African Americans are going through and try to illustrate how it makes me feel within that topic so that it can give the viewer the kind of the insight. If it makes them feel uncomfortable or well, if it makes them feel happy. And I really like to get off on hitting people in the gut, doing things that people are off.
Mike.
I have very clear messages with my mural series. So I have a mural that says simply forgiveness, as my character painting the S, powerful pause, my character. Others that say believe, hope, we are one. So these are messages that kind of resonate with you and make you reflect on yourself, what you're doing, your mindset, whether it's a mental mindset, physical mindset. So that's the main way that I get off my cause, make you reflect on what you see in yourself, your being.
For me, it's like a two-part thing. I feel like just the act of us, in particular me, because I'm the woman up here, as many might know, the art world is racist, just like the regular world, but it's by far more sexist than racist, kind of just like the regular world. So I feel like I strongly believe that just my presence outside doing art is the resistance itself, because every time I'm somewhere, whether it's in a little lift, big lift, whatever, I'm gonna get some man or some women as well, but mostly men, like questioning, huh?
What they say?
Oh man.
What you doing up here?
No, they said, oh, I thought a man was painting that.
Really?
Or are you painted or you just colored it? Is it yours? Da da da. Last time we had the festival, Jada and I painted the turkey grill, and the guy who had been watching us because he was security guard in the parking lot for the building and the other one, across the parking lot, he straight up came up to me. He's like, "Oh man, seems like a lot of hard work for a woman." Like, oh yeah, every single time. And then if I'm on a scaffolding It's always gonna be a man. I don't give a damn how big or small the wall is. I am sitting on my scaffolding, working comfortably. They tell me I need to use a ladder.
You need to use a ladder.
I know. Cause you just have to tell me something. Exactly. Like I'm literally sitting here, sir. Like, what do you mean? Like a ladder? That's dangerous. Like, what are you talking about?
You can move around.
Right. So, and now, like, and even painting black women, and we can, even the bigger conversation that we were just having in this political landscape, like, in some towns or cities, you probably can't even call your festival BLKOUT Walls, or you won't be, if you are depending on whatever type of funding from those companies that, like, got rid of whatever that DEI and all this other stuff, which is interesting because, of course, we barely benefited from that shit anyway. But, you know, but it's, I feel like it's literally that simple, just the act of us doing it. No matter what we paint kind of is resistance, but I feel like if we paint joy, that's the ultimate resistance.
Yeah, in spite of everything.
Yes. Because I feel like that's what they really trying to kill. Like if we can kill the joy, you get desperate people to do anything. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this whole temperature right now is really just trying to create desperation. And they're doing it, but if we show that shit, that's when they win.
Well, see, what they don't realize is that our culture is based off of having to be resilient in tight spots. That's why, people like, yeah, they want to race war, they trying to turn up the heat, and it's like, okay, we haven't seen this before, type thing, so I don't think we can activate it yet to like really
You gotta speak up
be that
too.
upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because I can hear you. I don't know if they can hear you. Yeah, that is true. This is definitely physical labor.
I also ran across what you were saying about, trying to find funding when I was doing the Black Tattoo Art Music Expo.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that connotation with black. They don't want to, it's harder to get sponsorship. I don't know why. It's what it is.
It is what it is.
Resilient.
And this also goes to what you were saying in your piece, because your resistance is kind of loud because you literally paint black bold letters in your work with your character, right?
Yes.
Do you think that resistance pieces can be strong even if they're quiet?
Quiet as far as like softness of color, quiet as.
It could be that, or it could be softness of color, or maybe like the message is sort of hidden and you kind of like gotta dissect it.
I think if the message is there and it can be conveyed, people can make out what it is, yeah, it can be soft.
So I'll open it up now. Like, what is artist resistance to y'all? You a baby, so you don't know nothing about no resistance.
I just know that when I taught art, and in classes that were almost all white, that I would show the work of Titus Kaphar, Kara Walker, Carrie James Marshall, Rashid Johnson, who I love, and I would just question, so what do you think of this work? And why do you, tell me more, why do you say that? And a lot came out. Like the Carrie James Marshall,
Yeah.
of the park, where, and you know how he deliberately paints the skin, so it's almost like purple.
Yep.
Undertones and the layers. And there were all these people that were in the park, all black, dressed in beautiful clothing, sailboats, sort of reminiscent of the Syrah. And I had a student who said, well, I think that's the ghetto. And so that opened up a lot of discussion and conversation that was uncomfortable, right? So I was really happy about that. And then the next day I showed them a video of Carrie James Marshall talking about why he paints the skin the way he does and why he created that painting, what that meant. And so Titus Kaphar's work is,
Oh, yeah.
right there. So that's what the power of art, to just open people's eyes, can be amazing.
It's interesting. I'm painting at the Ralph C. Wilson Park that they're developing down the street off of West Jefferson. We're painting a big structure. It's the ventilation system for the underground train that goes, you know, under the water to Canada, right? It's still in function, by the way.
Yeah.
I found that out. Yeah, it's a cargo though. It's not a passenger anymore. But and the structure is actually owned by Canada. So every time I touch it, I'm on Canadian soil. I'm almost free. Anyway, I'm painting. The painting is titled "Message in a Bubble." So on one side, the structure was so odd. My maniacal ass designed it to be the whole damn thing. Like it meets in the around the whole circle. So on the side that you can view from Canada, I'm painting my little cousin Logan and a girl that's standing behind him, like blowing bubbles. And inside the bubbles will be like silhouettes and of different modes of transportation it takes for you to get to Canada and back to Detroit, right? And on the opposite side, so the special thing about Logan is his grandmother is actually Canadian and from Windsor. So all of his other side of the family is actually over there in Windsor. And on the opposite side, on the side you can view from Detroit, I have Canada's view of us when they're over there. Like, so kids blowing bubbles over here, Max Sansing painted that side. So, and then I'll have in the background, my little cousin's great-grand auntie who was 102 years old, just sitting like in a lawn chair. So it's like love messages too, you know what I mean? So it shows like the connectivity. So I say all that to say, there's a security guard, you know, driving by, because it's the actual active construction site. So nobody's allowed on the property. So, you know, you need that person to drive, follow you if you drive your bike in and shit like that, right? She takes that shit real serious. But she kind of came up to me. It's interesting because I've been working on it for like 3-4 weeks, and this is the first time she ever spoke to me, which was like 2 days ago. She calls me over to her car and she says, "Hey, you doing this?" "Yes, I'm doing this. I'm the artist. Yes, I'm the artist, and I designed this mural. Da 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 da." She says, "Are you gonna paint any other ethnicities up there, or just those kids?" I said, "Well, the little girl's gonna be Asian." "Well, you know, because, you know, back in the day, I'm just saying, it was like a song, like, it came out in the 80s, you know, We Are the World." It's just, you know, so.
Yeah.
She didn't ask me to explain the piece, she didn't ask me, but the only thing she saw was that it wasn't anybody white up there. But mind you, I hadn't even started painting the girl. Like, she didn't know what that was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? But all she cared about was, is somebody white gonna be up here? And that was her way to ask. But no, girl, I was like, they barely paid. I should have said, I thought about it an hour later, the perfect damn comeback. I don't see color.
Right.
But I wasn't snarky enough in the moment. I just said they weren't paying me enough to pay more than 2 people, but here I am. And I just kept, I just kind of walked away. But it's just interesting, like, I don't know. What's art of resistance to you as a designer? Eric, that's Eric, everybody. He's one of the
What's up,
beautiful
Eric?
instructors. And yes, you already know what I want to say, Eric, because you already know.
I know, you can feel it.
I'm not trying to get into Eric's pants. I just want him to give me all of his pants. Because they're always
that's
so
always
cool.
that weird green pant. Resistance, I always think of like how to break the rules anytime I just was a bad kid, I guess. So if there's an opportunity for me to say something in what I'm doing, that's, especially if I feel like I'm not in alignment with whatever's trying to be dictated to me, I'm always gonna come up with some weird twist to it. You're gonna get what you want, maybe, if that's part of my job. But I'm gonna get my way through that. You might be mad at me, but it accomplished what you're trying to.
Do you think art itself is resistance?
It can be. Not always. Sometimes it's opposite.
Because yes, sometimes it is propaganda the opposite way.
But I think art is supposed to try to say something, right? So if you're trying to resist something, you're gonna use art to resist.
Did you teach cultural semiotics to your kids when you had, to your students? Because I'm sure they weren't children.
What do you mean by cultural semiotics?
Cultural semiotics is the use of symbols and messaging in images. It's often, it's a tool used by really marketing agencies, ad agencies, and really everybody who controls media, right? You know, position, you know, the
Like
example,
subliminal messaging?
huh?
Like subliminal messaging?
Yes, yes. Remember, what was that movie with Roddy Piper? They're Here, or They Live? What was that movie, baby? You know what I'm talking about. Where you put on the sunglasses and you see the messages.
Yeah. You can see that.
And you should see that movie, because it's important. And it was like maybe 86, maybe. What is it? It's either They Live or They're Here. It's one of those things. But that's like a perfect visual example of cultural semiotics, because it shows you the images and then it shows you the messages behind the images. I had a cultural semiotics class at CCS when I was a student there. And it was probably the most important class I think that I had, because I learned exactly the why of images and the positioning. I remember my teacher using ads as examples, like Camel cigarettes, right? How the woman is always in a dominated position and the guy is like over her, da 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 da. And then when I got older, I started paying attention more. Like I think I was driving I don't think I was in Los Angeles, but I was definitely not in Detroit. But it was like some window ads for, let's just say Old Navy for the sake of this conversation. Like one window display, a white woman with her full family, kids, da 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 da. Pregnant, a black one next display was a pregnant black woman by herself, like pushing or a cart, you know what I'm saying? And the next one was like maybe a black man but with a white woman and her and that family. Like, but it was like,
You should rarely see that, too.
oh no, but it is common to see interracial relationships in
Back when we were
And-
young,
and
they
that-
didn't see it.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Especially a black man and a white woman.
Right. But you know, it makes you see the people they want to see powerless. You know what I'm saying? So how do we combat that? Hey, I try to do my best combating it with my art, but how do we do that daily? Do we do that daily? Is that a whole nother conversation for another panel?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah. And it's kind of like case by case, I guess, depending on what your project is. You know? Yeah, it's a different, you break that down.
So young people, y'all in this climate, y'all see what's happening. What are y'all assignments like at school? Because I know you're a sophomore at CCS. You just finished school, but how did you showcase whatever your feelings were about what's going on now in your work? Did it ever come up in your work? Was that allowed even in your assignments or your projects?
I say it's not like it wasn't allowed, but it was not pushed in instruction. It didn't say like, oh yeah, you have so much creative freedom, go for it. Nah, you say, it's by 24, right? I need this level of value, you need to use charcoal, you need to use graphite. Yeah.
Well, how do you plan to? Do you plan to?
Oh yeah. I was having a conversation with one of my friends. They were saying, oh yeah, if there's anything that you should do while you're in a creative college, a creative institute of any kind, is to, with the work that you make, try and relate it to anything else, right? So long as you don't lose that creativity, you don't see it as clock in, clock out, this is what I do, but I don't really care about it for real.
I feel like, in my experience, I went to U of M, and it wasn't like, we probably weren't challenged enough to like relate what we were doing to what was going on.
With all that protesting that was happening on campus?
Well, you mean like with the encampments?
Anything.
Yeah,
it's been turned up for years. I feel like
I think one other thing that came to mind is like people would try to share their experience, but it was more of like a soft thing, like what you were saying. Like maybe like we're a little bit afraid to like voice loudly, so like trying to share like someone's like cultural heritage through like symbols of like tetris, like the type of embroidery that like someone who's Palestinian would use. They would use that imagery and kind of like more like subtly try to share their experience, but like it's not something that like formally we were like educated about necessarily. So I think that that's something that I've been thinking about, like that could definitely improve. And I think that things are getting louder, and I think people's voices are getting a little bit louder in those spaces, which is really exciting. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
do you encourage that with your students, Eric?
Yeah, all the time. Actually, I had one student, this was 2020, they wanted to do, subvert the ideals of like Western professionalism. So make dress shoes that didn't use Europe as a basis for what that looked like. And she was really nervous when she was coming up to me because she thought I was gonna say no because other teachers would. I went to Academy of Art, I taught at Academy of Art in San Francisco. And I was like, yeah, sure, but the thing I always say is you have to learn the function of it. So I made her research like activism, artwork, how do you take those symbols that you're talking about and incorporate it so that it is doing it in a way that's not just because I picked something.
Right.
Right. Like you're gonna research where are you pulling your imagery from, your symbols from. So she went and researched all of Africa across all of it and found out what professionalism means to them, what it means to Black Americans, and then made a collection around that.
I think that would be a great dissertation too if she ever went for a PhD. I feel like in that aspect, my resistance is I don't paint on stretch canvas. It was economical, but also like kind of it's not even stable for real. Like it can get punctured. It's so fragile in that state. So I hang them like tapestries. So that's a little, and it's cheaper to ship because you can just roll them holes up in a tube. So yeah. So how did you encourage that with your students? I'm talking to you now, Miss Francais.
How did I encourage? Oh, I encouraged it because I wanted whatever came out on a page or whatever medium to be who they were, to be genuine and not mimetic, and that was my problem because they, went to known things instead of bringing what they had out. So yeah, that was like primary.
Interesting. We're living in such an interesting time, but the art is about to be amazing. Amazing. Do you guys have any questions for us? Miss Marilyn?
No, I'm just listening.
You want no questions?
Not right now. It's not gonna come like in a couple of minutes.
Fine. Are you an artist?
Yeah, but I do more music.
What type of music?
Whatever I kind of feel like doing, it don't really have a label. It's just what comes out.
So do you sing? Do you produce? Do you engineer?
I like a songwriter and I sing and stuff, yeah. I would like to learn more about producing, but I do more of the writing and the singing.
What about you? Missed the last couple years of the 80s.
Okay, me. Well, actually, Mary and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. We were doing a sign making party for one of the marches, and I just pointed out that a whole lot of what we are doing in resistance is art. we've been making, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. There are some posters about how ice is not welcome in Detroit, and I came upon those and shared those. And yeah, and so we're making signs, we're doing, I've done graphic design stuff, he's about to do some web design stuff. So for us, it's more like the resistance is the primary part, but it's coming out through art, which I think is awesome. So it's kind of the inverse.
So what happens after the art?
Change.
What kind of change?
Change being honest about what's going on. And I do agree with him with being like rebellious with your art, because it might help people to be more more honest about things. Yeah, because I feel like when you do rebel, you kind of promote people to be honest. Because I see somebody speaking up, so I kind of like, it's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
Because I say, oh, I'm not the only person that feel that way, or or they get inspired by somebody speaking up, makes someone speak up. So it's kind of inspiring people to kind of speak up.
Especially public art, right? Like it's
Yeah.
easy, I think, for people to watch what's going on politically and think, oh man, everybody's thinking like these crazy people on my TV.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you go by and you see a mural, you see graffiti, you see some of the stickering or wheat pasting or something like that, and you're like, oh, there's somebody who doesn't agree with it, and it is just a good reminder that not everybody sees things the same way. Like that's what I was interested in coming here. Like I really enjoy murals and street art, and then this political climate is really, really, really depressing. And sort of in the throes of suckiness right after January, I took a trip to Europe and happened upon the Dutch Resistance Museum, which was about the resistance to Nazism in Amsterdam and all of the Netherlands. And a lot of it was art, and a lot of it was graffiti, and that really made me feel like, that's something. I'm not an artist. I enjoy art, but that's I could do a little stickering probably. I could find ways to merge these two interests together. And I guess maybe that's my question for you. You guys have talked about resistance in the like sort of general sense of cultural resistance. Do you guys have any thoughts on like specific political resistance, specific ways that art is useful in political resistance? I'm involved in like my local political community and do marches and stuff like the folks in front of me, but I don't feel like we've been very successful in making art as much of a part of that as we could, and I've been wondering how to do it. I'm trying.
Well, I'll let you take that, Mike Norice, and then I'm gonna think about it.
I don't get into politics with my art. Me personally, I know a lot of artists that do. One of my favorite artists, actually, Shepard Fairey, he does a lot of political art. But me personally, I don't, because I try to have my art be all as inclusive as to forget about whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a boy, a girl, whatever, you're a human being.
Yeah.
I want to just reflect on us as human beings and just kind of unite everyone. Me personally, that's what.
Right now, it seems like maybe the idea that we should all unite together is kind of controversial in resistance as it is, right?
Exactly. So, I never have had my art kind of be, okay, this is what I'm taking this side of the stance. I like to reach across the aisle and say, hey, what do we have to do to work together, kind of through the messages.
I think in today's time and climate, that's what's needed.
Yeah.
They've been doing a lot of like pitting, conservatives and liberals and all this stuff. And at this point, like we need to just come together and get things, going the right direction. That may be, put all the Republican, Democrat stuff to the side. And I think that your hard work can definitely do it. And I feel like murals is the way because people see it. Like Siqueiros, Diego Rivera, they did call to action.
Yeah, he put that shit in their face too, and they paid for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's
Big dollars.
that's the harder thing today is like who's gonna fund it? Everybody's scared, they scared to do fund something to say stuff on it. You know what I mean? So if you can get that money and get the funding together, it could definitely be things can be subjects can be touched on and, you know, done large scale in public. Unless somebody just wants to do it just to be doing it.
I have a mural that I did maybe 3 years ago, and it's just a quick story. So it was in this, in a lot of people don't know it, in Compton, there's a lot of Latinos and blacks are pretty much for the last 20 years had a racial war in Compton, the city of Compton, believe it or not. So it started from the gangs and it kind of spread into just your common citizens. So there's this black church that has been there for decades, and it has been surrounded by a Latino gang that literally covers the entire church with graffiti from their gang. And a lot of it is racial, believe it or not. And it's an older congregation, the church, you know, so they're like in their 60s, 70s. So they're not gonna go against, you know, a gang. So the pastor, you know, I'm known in LA to have my murals have no graffiti on them because I do a lot of intervention work in the community and work a lot with the community. So he contacted me and said, I need you to put one of your murals here. So when I got there, I looked at the wall, looked at the environment, and I said, okay, well, let's do the word harmony. So I have the word harmony written there, and I have like a dove, which is a symbol of kind of unity. So I have my character, Powerful Paul, kind of releasing the dove. And it's been up for 3 years and no graffiti on the, and let me tell you this. In order for us to get permission to write on that, there was a lot of backlash for us being, or me being a black artist, being in that area. I had to go to the prison, San Quentin prison, and the Mexican mafia to talk to them to get permission to write on that wall. And it's been good ever since. So sometimes being right in the heat of the, you know, being that candle in the darkness can spread and be that kind of resistance, or that, you know, reaching across the aisle, like you were saying, you know. So sometimes that's needed, you know. And I think a lot of it is, especially with the climate it is today, it's all, in my opinion, a big misunderstanding. And it's about having a conversation, because a lot of people say, oh, well, I didn't know you were like this. Well, I didn't know you were like that. Let's talk about it. You know, everybody obviously thinks that their viewpoint is the correct one. And through my art, it kind of holds up a mirror and makes you reflect on yourself. You know, and it's not so much about me as an artist. I'm giving you the opportunity to reflect on, who do you need to forgive? What do you believe in? Who do you need to unite with? I have one that says unity, you know. Who do you love? I have one that says love. The joy, one that simply says joy. So it makes you think like about your walk of life, your path of, you know, who you are. And it has really united a lot of communities together, like that neighborhood I was just referring to. And it has really just made people reflect on just themselves, you know what I mean? So art is subjective, and in LA, we have so much art everywhere. It's the mural capital of the world. So what I did was, okay, how can I stand out in a place that has so much color and so much art everywhere? That's why I created it's actually a mural tour that has black and white walls in the city that has so much color and so much diversity and so much anger and pain and gangs and violence and drugs and everything. What can I do to kind of combat that? And I just did simple mural tours strategically in different neighborhoods that needed it. That just simply has messages. You know, sometimes less is best. And if you look up my resume of artistry, I can paint, you know, everything. But I've chosen to, at right now in this season of my life, to give you these messages, you know, and have them to be like a scavenger hunt of great feeling. Even the one I did here, I just completed today, it's gonna make you smile. The only way you won't smile is if you have no teeth and no mouth.
You can smile with no teeth.
You can. But it's gonna, I guarantee you it'll make you smile. And you're gonna look at it, no matter you having a bad day or anything, and that right there is what I'm creating art for. That's what I'm here for as a human. That's what God made me for, is to spread positive and just the image of like giving back to what has been given to me. The gift of art is to make people feel good, you know, so that's what I do.
I think education probably is the biggest form of resistance. And I feel like when we do paintings, because I feel like when you put words on anything, that's still educational because you gotta read. You know what I mean? But I feel like if our art can force people to do research and I feel like that is part of the resistance too, because I think the biggest problem that we're dealing with now is the lack of education, of true education. And I feel like that's also by design, you know, like a whole 40, 50-year-old plan, you know, yay Reagan. I feel like if we could combat the lack of education, I feel like we could win. Because I feel when we talk about politics, the right, the left, the bare bones of politics is literally the distribution of resources. And that's what we never talk about. We never learn about politics in that way. Like who gets to decide who distributes and who gets the resources that are distributed. That's literally all politics is. And some people have all the resources and other people to have none, and some people want resources for everybody. And that's really the bigger conversation. So when in regard to me, I feel like we were really done a terrible disservice when we were told, it's rude to talk about politics and religion, but you should. You should. Because if you do, you can question, and if you have questions, you can find answers and then find a common ground and stuff like that. But I feel like we've been, like the term politically correct, you know what I'm saying, so long that it's really oxymoronic. It was actually more incorrect not talking about it than actually sitting there having a conversation. What you trying to decipher?
Not mad. No worries. Keep talking.
I was done with the thought. I'll take more questions for the audience. What you got to say?
Well, I agree, and so I don't know. Earlier, a few years ago, maybe like 2018, 2017, I've done some like political pieces. I really am inspired by political like cartoonist artwork. So yeah, just like kind of, you know, trying to raise awareness to certain issues. I don't know, like the climate that we're currently in makes me a little uneasy, and I'm like struggling to balance life.
Understood.
And, you know, so I don't know. I try to like release that through art, and so political art is one of those ways.
Okay, why do you think?
Acrylic on canvas.
You're more of an illustrator then.
Yeah.
My favorite type of person. Professor, do you have any more questions for us?
Oh, I'm not a professor.
I'm still gonna call you professor.
No, I've just been really enjoying
What about you with your head great full of hair?
Oh, well,
Your head great
I don't
hair.
know.
Knowledge.
Yeah, I did commercial photography all my life, which is kind of more of a craft than
Yeah.
art.
No, it's still art because you have to compose.
Oh, yeah, but it's,
It's just commercial art.
it's making something look like how it should look, or how my client wants me to make it look.
Rather than what it actually is.
Yeah. Best light, that's it. But that's, so you get good at lighting, that's the,
You get good at lighting, you get good at line. Is that what you about to say?
Yeah.
That's a bar.
yeah. Well, I always had a problem with lighting.
Not when it came to your lighting. Any other questions for us?
Yes.
What's up, baby?
So I feel like the topic of resistance can extend to, say, if you happen to live in an area where there's an economic decline, if you want to prevent that, but your only tool in that is art on a large scale, I'm questioning how you would reasonably meet that goal of preventing further economic decline through art.
For an area?
Yes.
So that one is tough because public art can definitely be a tool of mass gentrification for sure. Here we've seen that in Eastern Market, specifically. The best way that I try to combat that, but it might not help actually, is really painting black people. Because somehow black images are grossly devalued. Black images and black bodies being in a space, the value just goes down. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I don't know. I wish I knew, which is probably why I just keep painting, listen to Dory, keep painting, and, and really just trying to make, not as, direct as Mike, but images that are gonna make somebody happy. You know what I mean? Or somebody pause, because that's really the goal of it. Because a mural, your expected viewership of a mural is anywhere from 3 to 10 seconds. So if somebody pulls over to absorb your work, that's my goal. I would like people to paint such high quality pieces that they say, fuck that 3 to 10 seconds. I know I'm on my way to work, but I need to pull over for a second, just sit here. I feel like that's a good resistance tool as well. Like, just doing the best we can at whatever we're doing.
But also pulling people out of autopilot. I was actually gonna say, I really love that the murals here at least are calibrated to be enjoyed in a car.
Yeah.
Except when people pull over, but you're absolutely right. If you get somebody to pull over, then you've pulled them out of autopilot. They're not just going through the motions. They're like, oh wait, I need to see everything that's going on here.
And of course I didn't notice until I started painting murals. I've only been painting murals professionally 10 years this year. So this is my anniversary year. I didn't even know mural painting was a thing 10 years ago. I didn't know it was like this big of a scale. Like I had painted murals, you know what I'm saying? And of course it's even gotten oversaturated even since then, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's public art, whether it's murals, sculptures, installations, or even performance art in a public setting. I feel like those can be tools to get people, to navigate people, or really to encourage people to do better, if nothing else, to do better. And that's really what we want. We want just everybody to do better. Be kinder to each other, like recognize when you're having a bad day and you're reacting to somebody. Recognize your implicit biases and question yourself, why do you have those? What made me think about this? Unless somebody gives you a reason to be like, oh, you're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, but until then, how do we move and to take out the biases within us? I guess that really could be the goal of the work as well.
Yeah. But you got to do something that makes them question.
Yeah. It's so interesting that your student said that's the ghetto and looking at a Carrie Marshall painting.
And I just would ask, I do most of my teaching through inquiry, so it's more like, so tell me more about that. What, you know, what makes you say that? And they were stunned, and they weren't gonna say, or they didn't know. That's why
Yeah.
I kind of left it until the next day, and then brought the video of the artist talking about his work, and that way we could have more of a conversation. But it just didn't happen just that time. It was, you know, with several pieces. You know, Titus Kaffar, his disappearing children, or his work where, you know, going through the art history books, no black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So also art, what you were saying, I think really is transformative. I mean, I would take my students to the DIA where we could see the Titus Kaffar person and Rushy Johnson's, and they couldn't believe it. Some of them had never been there before, you know, and they would, they just said it just filled them with like joy to be around all the art. But yeah, that's why art can be a real good vehicle to get people talking about what, because we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
You know, we don't know all this, because it's like a sea of white supremacy, right?
Yes.
So we don't, that we're just swimming in, and we just don't even, you know. So
The crazy
that
thing
brings
is,
it into focus a little bit more.
Yeah.
It gets those students to look, because some of them are going to go out in the world and be with children, all different kinds of children. I mean, they need to look at that.
yeah, yes. Doctors, nurses, it's so many people that are just.
Well, at the med school, they take, they have this visual thinking strategies where they have doctors look at these photographs and paintings and different works of art, and then they just, through questioning, can kind of reveal their unconscious biases towards different people that they didn't even know, maybe, were they?
Yeah, because they don't see it as bias, they see it as fact.
Maybe, you know, but.
Like, for instance, like, I just broke my finger, my pinky finger. I was tossing football with my nephews, and instead of tossing it accurately, they tossed it hard. And I should have let the shit hit the ground, but I didn't. And I thought they jammed my finger, but it was actually a mural on it. And it came back home, and another state came back home, and it was still looking like. So when I get to the doctor, I was like, cause my nephews, they play football. They say, oh no, just keep pulling on it, it'll straight back out. And so when I came home, it was still looking like, it was like, oh auntie, it's not supposed to look like that. I said, okay, let me take my ass to urgent care. And I told the lady, I was like, this is my first broken bone. I thought it would be excruciating. Cause it wasn't, like it hurt. Like it probably was excruciating. I just wouldn't, I had, real surgery last year. So this, this kind of wasn't shit, She was like, oh, you just have a high tolerance for pain. I'm like, no, the fuck I do not. But she insisted on it. Like, she would not let that shit go. I'm like, baby girl, no, I don't. Like, stop saying that shit. Like.
It was a white lady?
Of course.
Yeah, I had that situation before.
Of course. And
it's just like that programming. It's just people's programming.
But I realized.
Younger when they kids.
But I know what it is, though, even with us. Because I think part of it is us, and I'll tell you why. We have been so conditioned not to complain. And this is black across the board. This ain't even just black women. That even though it might be excruciating, we probably mentally are dealing with it, and just saying to ourselves, ain't shit you could do about it. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know who to go to do about it.
Yeah, so we just don't, like, we are just
much.
so in the lane, just so used to not complaining that when it is something, it's like, oh no, you have a high tolerance. How the fuck you go? That's like when you're a cat lady. So I don't do, you know how you can do the feral thing where you take them in to get fixed? But you gotta catch them in that one specific cage, and then they clip the ear of the cat to make it identifiable as a neutered or spayed cat. Man, Lamar's mama did that. And they cut off half the damn ear. And they say shit like, oh, well, it's not going to hurt them that bad. How can you identify somebody else's pain? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like they used to say babies couldn't feel pain.
Exactly.
That was not true at all.
Exactly. They're humans. They're little tiny humans. Why the fuck wouldn't they heal? Like, it's just because they can't complain. And that's what it is. Just because you can't
Because they
complain.
can't sue.
You know, so, yeah. It's just, but I feel like these conversations are important. And again, I feel like education is important. Teaching and having those conversations about work that's not just Rembrandt, Da Vinci, Michelangelo. Like, you know, like, I feel like it's so important to show the full spectrum, because coming up in art school, CCS, because I graduated in 2001, I remember having a professor straight tell me, I don't know, he probably wasn't a professor either, I just call all the y'all professors, instructor, Mike Michaels, that's what's his name. He told us, I can't teach you how to paint black people, I don't know what colors to use. This is at fucking CCS.
Oh my god.
Oh no, the racism was, oh baby. It was thick back then.
A few years before that, they had a instructor flat out didn't think black people could draw. CCS.
Yes. Wonderful times. It's crazy. I'm sorry y'all gonna leave this talk all depressed and shit. Y'all supposed to be inspired.
You gotta combat this shit.
Right.
Figure out ways to combat it.
Yeah, like, so to view all the walls, so this year's festival, we are up and down East Jefferson. Like, we have one on Woodbridge right outside the school here, Woodbridge and Walker. We have another wall, the elevator building down Franklin. And then we have a few walls up and down East Jefferson, starting at, I'm gonna start at yours, but it's one block, it's another series of murals, a block east. What street is it?
Jefferson Court.
Jefferson Court Street. So Jefferson Court, the Walgreens, directly across the street is a cafe. He's starting his tomorrow. Who else am I missing? Oh, Ashley. We have another one on Larned. So the next two festivals will be in this area. Festival. The first one was in the North End along Oakland Ave and East Grand Boulevard. The second festival was East Grand Boulevard. No, it was all Woodward. Yeah, it was all Woodward. It was the North, but we hit the Midtown from the train station, the viaducts, all the way into Highland Park. Straight up Woodward. I know, yeah. So yeah, we're just trying to put our mark all around the city, and of course there's a lot to cover because this city is 147 square miles, but we're doing our best to put museum quality pieces outside.
Is there a map? I haven't been able to find a map of them yet.
So if you go into blackoutwalls.com,
Yeah.
there's a mural map, so you'll be able to find them.
I just missed it then. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so it's a mural map on there. It should be, where is, baby, is Laura over there? Is there a map that we have of the current walls?
Yeah, you go to Blackout Walls, mural map is on the link.
Okay, so the mural, so the new walls are on the mural map too?
Yeah, there's a whole Google map that'll give you a whole guide.
Yeah, so you can give yourself a self-guided tour.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, so Saturday is our celebration, our end of the week celebration, our Blackout Walls block party. We're hosting it at Spirit Plaza this year from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So we welcome you, and we hope you all have a chance to join. We'll have vendors out there, good food, entertainments, and just a good time. So if you have young kids, medium kids, old kids, bring them. You want to sing something?
No, I like the conversation that we had today. So.
Oh, fine. No singing.
Not really. Sing?
What a song about
I don't know what to sing.
Fine.
Sweet Jesus.
Fine.
Amazing Grace.
Thank you all so much. I know we all kind of, and I do super apologize for we tired, honey. That me and I in that heat.
Yeah.
My goodness. And I'm on Canada, the south side, so I'm in the sun all day. But it looked like I got makeup on, so I'm good with it. But still. Yeah, right?
Thank you.
Come on, tan, it look like I've been vacationing.
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. You good to start tomorrow?
Yes.